Welcome to my channel. It is no secret that Russia's second place in the world army ranking turned out to be such only in the imagination of Putin and those who sacredly believe in the great mission of the Russians to exterminate the Nazis in Ukraine. But reality shows us a completely different picture. The great and mighty army does not exist, thanks to Russian corruption. I mentioned it in one of my previous videos, not about it now. Besides corruption, the Russian army has been weakened by bad planning, and underestimating the opponent. This, too, has played a major role, since the planning and organization of any military operation is extremely important. And we see a series of mistakes made by the Russian military command, which has led to the fact that they don't have any strategic successes in the war against Ukraine. They suffer significant losses. In fact, they were forced to retreat both from the Kiev, Chernihiv directions, and from under Kharkiv. All this shows that there are systemic problems in the Russian army. The fact is that nominally, if you look at it on paper, the army is very large, I would say just huge. Russia has a lot of equipment and weapons. But in fact, when they have to take some weapons systems out of storage, it turns out that a lot of equipment doesn't have enough spares. Either they were stolen, or they are out of stock, or in unusable condition. Another problem is the improper distribution of funding. The system of financing was distributed in such a way as to support this myth of grandeur. Accordingly, huge money was allocated for various missile programs, maintaining the image of the strategic forces. Also, the Russian Federation invested a lot of finances in its navy, but the example of the cruiser Moskva and other ships showed that they are very vulnerable to Ukrainian anti-ship missiles and other missiles. Let's not mention them yet. They invested a lot of money just to maintain the myth of greatness, to threaten America, to threaten the other world with nuclear ashes. All the things that the Russian propaganda around the world has been talking about for years. But in doing so, they have underfunded more important sectors of the military industry. They created the appearance of a mighty army that the whole world should be afraid of. But the time for cartoons with nuclear missiles is over. The time for real action has come, and Putin's army has huge problems with it. As a rule, looters, pensioners, prisoners and the police staff he threw against the trained Ukrainian military do not know how to fight, and Putin has no professional army. Army units of mechanized units and some of the paratroopers were unprepared to carry out successful assault operations. And the picture that was shown during the military exercises does not correspond to reality. A very bad comedian now turned out to be Putin and his gang, while Zelensky and his combat generals turned out to be worthy opponents of Russian aggression. To help the channel grow, watch one or more of the videos offered to you at the end. Thank you. At this point, I will say goodbye to you and see you again. Have a good day.